Okay, so I am back to do some more paints because I have so much paint to organize. So I have these White Nights paints, which I've always wanted to try, and it's not something that you can easily get except for in some kits in the United States. And so my friend Bart picked these up for me. I gave him this. I think I gave him a list of colors that I was looking for to kind of make a set. And I need to get a yellow ochre, or I'll put a yellow ochre in here. It's the only color I see I probably should have included. And so I had to get a bigger tin. So I ended up picking up these Medines. Are so cheap. I think they're like $13. And so this holds, I believe it's 24 half pans or 12 full pans. I'm actually going to mix. I do like how these come out of metal. I don't often need all of this. When I'm painting, it just gets in the way of opening all those things because I tend to use this for mixing. So I like that you can pull these trays out. That's a big plus for me. So that's what I'm going to fill these with, as well as I was going to put these in a travel set, but he had simply given me, these are Renesans, which are Polish artist grade watercolor paints, and he sort of gave me a mix of colors for me to try that he thought I would be interested in, but it's not really a set, so to speak. And so I decided I would put those down in here as sort of extra colors versus having it in its own, and save this little thing to make my ultimate little travel kit. So I have these all, except for these, but I have these put in order. So again, these are White Nights. Actually, you know what? I need to go and write them all onto here, and then I'll be back. Okay, so now I have my colors, but I guess right now we're just gonna open them. So these are the White Nights. Now, I think I've not ever used White Night before, so I don't entirely know how it like picks up. Got like a streak of green in there. Which I guess I could have picked up from that, I'm not sure. I like that cadmium. I do like cadmium yellows, because I'm more of a warm yellow. But then I don't always like the warm reds, which are more towards the orange, although that's a beautiful red orange. Carmine. It's very pigmented. Very bold. It feels a little bit in the pan. It feels, or picking it up from the pan, it feels a little bit kind of like Kiritaki colors. claret is gorgeous. Rose. Seems pretty transparent. Yeah, it does. It's got a smooth feel to the paint in the pan that reminds me of Kuretake. Even Holbein maybe a little bit. That's beautiful. It doesn't seem to move a whole lot when you put water to it. Like you kind of have to pull it down. Of course, now I have too much water. But you kind of have to pull the color. Then it's moving a little bit when you pull it down. That's beautiful color though. So yeah, it kind of feels a little bit like Kuretake and in some ways like Holbein. Whoa, that is like a dioxin violet. I'm gonna get a lot of pigment out of that. See, when you pull it down, it does fine. Yeah, that's like a dioxin violet. I would guess that's similar pigment, but again, not a pigment expert. Really not a paint expert at all, but it reminds me of, I guess, Japanese style paints where it's very rich. Oops. Very rich, very pigmented. Beautiful Prussian. I love that. This is, oh, did I just pick up from the same? I did. Oh, fail. Fail. Wait, no, that's right. That's right. 3. We're on the third one over. It looks very similar to Prussian. So this is bright blue. And I guess when it thins out, it definitely has a different look to Prussian. Yeah, it definitely does. Right when they're condensed, thick pigment, that one's moving a little bit more than the other ones have. Azure. Blue. Yeah, very strong pigments. You definitely would not need a lot of these pigment. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. It's kind of like marine blue from Holbein, a little bit, but you can see where it could get really, really dark. Oops, now everything's too wet. But you could get really dark as well up in here. Beautiful. I have to change out my water, I think. So I could definitely see this being, you know, a little goes a long way. As well as perhaps in terms of movement, doing well with like some extra ox gall so that it moves. But if you want, you know, the water to sort of stay where it is, or the color to stay where it is, like Holbein can do as well. This is definitely great for that, which is nice sometimes. Very, very vibrant. I like that. Orange or olive green. Very yellowy overtones, or undertones, I suppose I should say. It doesn't aggressively follow the water. A couple of them more. This bright blue probably the most, and some of that dioxazine does as well. And you do get some texture and granulation in them, so they're not, you know, Holbein can be pretty, or not Holbein, but Kiritake can be very flat. Whereas this does seem to have some texture there. I like that Mars brown. And then sepia. So yeah, I mean, that's what I have to my first impressions are Kiritake, Holbein, lots of pigment, not as much movement, but more, by far, more, it's a very rich sepia, I like that. More granulation or texture than a Kiritake, for sure, I think. So it's been a while since I've messed with those. So there is that. I'm going to add in these in a little bit, and we'll see how these Renesans work out. Okay, so I've now put the Renesans. Again, these are artist grade paints from Poland. So I'm just gonna kind of pull them down. I like that Terra Verde. And these are just some colors that my friend, ooh, look at that hooker. See, that's gorgeous. These are some colors that my friend thought that I would like. Just kind of get some of the dark. I just split these in half because these are half pans instead of whole pans. And this is a gold green. I like this. These have dried, some of these white nights. I do like this olive green. I like this green earth color here. I like this azure blue. Just in terms of, I think, paint movement and stuff. This is like a green gold, very yellowy green. And this is the only blue. This is a Paris blue. Very Prussian-y blue. This I'm excited about. This is Caput Mortem, which is a color in my, ooh, look at that. Look at that. This is gorgeous. Oh, I love that. Very different than, well, let's say very different. A bit more wine colored, I suppose. Let's, I got too much stuff on my table for sure right now. Just out of curiosity here. A nice bold strip of it. There's a little bit, I would say, more of a brown tone. Ooh, they're similar, but yes, the Sennelier has a little bit more of a brown tone to it. So quite different, but both beautiful in their own right. This is stunning though. I love burgundy colors like that. That's gorgeous. Oh, that's gorgeous enough to perhaps take out green or something to put that into this palette, perhaps. Okay, so the next one is Bordeaux, which looks very brown until you wet it. Look at that. I like these paints. Oops. I like these. They re-wet really easily. This is Geranium Lake. So they definitely re-wet beautifully. You really don't work much with them. This one is Dragon's Blood, which looks very brown. I wouldn't have thought of this as Dragon's Blood. Looks like more of a sepia tone, perhaps. But it looks perhaps a bit opaque. And Cadmium Red. Seems a little more translucent. Beautiful colors. Again, obviously this is just a strip of paint, so I have to work with them a little bit more, but some of these colors are just beautiful. Now see how different, how that dries. Definitely goes more into purples. This is a very vibrant yellow ochre. Of course, this, I don't have a yellow ochre, so I'm glad to have this one down here. Yeah, I'm really liking these. Now I gotta finish these. It's gonna bug me. Just kind of pull that all the way down. Because I have the other ones pulled down. This is the way my crazy brain works. Crazy brain, da 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 da, crazy brain. Very pigmented, I have to say. Very, very, very pigmented. There we go. Yeah, I'm excited to try these in a paint, more in a painting. Although I'm really surprised about the Caput Mortem. So here's a dry swatch of it. Let's take a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just want to, well, yeah, I mean, there's more of a burgundy look to it when it's wet. Isabel, come here. But it definitely dries much more purple. Whereas, let's see. I mean, obviously it's darker because, you know, it's wet. These seem to be more in the same range, where this definitely shifts quite a bit to a purple. Very interesting. But it's a beautiful purple. But I really kind of wish it would stay this color. Really pretty though. It's a pretty purple. Okay, so these, again, Renesans, which is a Polish brand of paint. These are St. Petersburg White Knights paint. The video before, we looked at Sennelier, which is was the main focus of this. Now I still have one more brand to do, which is Schminke. So I actually will probably pull in, I've got two, I think, Polish paints here in yellow. These, I believe, are Polish paint. So I'm going to stick those here for right now. Oops, that one's kind of stuck in here. I put magnets on the bottom of those because I'm 99.9% sure those, yeah, those are Kamensky paints, and so I'm going to put those there. Let's just see them while we have them out. Let's just look whilst they're out. So this one is, I've got it out over here, is a chromium yellow. It's very rough looking in the palette, but it did re-wet pretty quickly. So kind of like the cadmium, I guess, yellow. Pull that down. Yeah, it kind of looks, although it's kind of in between. It's not quite, this lemon yellow. I don't know if I got some color mixed in. I'm gonna have to mess with that. That's kind of gone a little bit wonky there, but I think I might have picked some green up. But that's almost like between a lemon and a cadmium. It's pretty. And then this here is brilliant. Brilliant bright yellow, or so it looks almost white colored. Very interesting color. Look at that. That is, yeah, it looks, I mean, that's got to have, I'm assuming that has got to have white in it. I'm gonna have to talk to my friend about that. That is so interesting. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in paint swatches. So there's some miscellaneous and white knights. And so then this is going to go into this palette. Now see, is this drying yet? Not all the way. Like, I really like that, but you can see it turning purple. I almost wish it would stay that wine color. Oh, it's beautiful. This is beautiful, but there's something about it wet that's even more beautiful. Okay, let me, hopefully with the various sizes I have, and I've stuck magnets on some. Whoops. Oh. It will all shut fine. Yep. So that is a heavy tin of paints. So again, this is my White Knights, my Renesans, and some miscellaneous here. And again, I've got to look through my drawers. I've got a couple miscellaneous half pans that I need to kind of fit where I need to fit them, but I like this as it is for now. So there's that.